Hey everybody, watch this review here with a look at the Marvel Legends Ronin from the Hasbro 2-packs. Ronin is paired with Skrull Electra, or as some people might call her, Skrullectra, who I've actually already reviewed. Nobody actually probably calls her Skrullectra. As always, we have really cool pack art, where we have the front face going to the side paneling, and then bam, on the back, Dullsville. A little bit of read-up if you care. Basically just reveals that Ronin was a alias taken by Clint Barton. You know, which explains the interchangeable Clint Barton head, in case you were wondering. And if the name Clint Barton doesn't mean anything to you for some reason, he be Hawkeye of the Avengers. So let's get this package open. Ronin comes equipped with a katana, in addition to having a pair of nunchucks. As mentioned, he has interchangeable heads, so you can find out his secret identity. So let's just take this mask off and find out. Clint Barton? Wait a second, this is another mask. Skrullectra? Yeah, no, we've gotten away with it too, if not for you meddling kids and that frog. Okay, before you guys get any ideas, the head actually doesn't fit on. The ball joint is smaller on the Skrullectra figure, so you can interchange the heads with that one, but not with this one. Well, at least not her head with this one. Now, in addition to having these weapons, you can also use Skrullectra's weapons, including the spare katana or the sais. So yeah, pretty cool. Then again, I bet a few people probably picked this pack up and viewed Skrullectra as a accessory herself, so yeah. Now there is a variant of this figure. He was also available in a 2-pack with a normal Electra, which had a interchangeable Electra head without the bandana. But that version had yellow sashes instead of gold, so I mean, honestly, this is the better looking Ronin, but that's the better looking Electra, especially because it comes with more accessories. But I picked up the one that was available to me. I have mixed feelings about this figure. For one thing, I love the sculpting. I love the paintwork. I mean, it's definitely a really cool looking character. Maybe if you know nothing about the character, it's just the sort of figure that would appeal to a lot of people just due to the level of detail and the color. Very vibrant. Articulation-wise, too, he's pretty decent, but the shoulder areas are kind of weak. So, I mean, that's the big downside. Kind of spoiled where I was going with that. But seriously, he's a really impressive looking figure with this really cool plated armor. Let's get a shot of the knees there, and then there's also a lot of texturing on the kimono. I think you just call it kimono, I'm not sure. There's probably a specific name for this that I'm not aware of, but you'll notice that there's folds in the fabric, and then the actual, well, it's not actual fabric, it's plastic, but you'll also notice that there's layering to make it look like it is fabric. You'll also see it layering on the mask area. A very impressive job, and, you know, for a Hasbro figure, there are no production errors in terms of paint, which is kind of a rarity. In terms of articulation, though, he has these really cool wrists, kind of the ball and socket, or whatever it's called, where it can go forward, back, then all around. And because the gauntlet here is up a little bit, you can get more of a rotation in that direction. Double jointed at the elbow here. It doesn't have any forearm articulation, but technically you probably don't need it just because you have all this at the wrist. The pecs are a complete mess. I mean, there's this big separation. It's just like this huge gap here, which it's more a little annoying. It really kind of detracts from the sculpt, and then because of the kimono, you don't have a full range of motion, but you can get the two arms to kind of meet to pop the sword in there, but you know, it's not that sick of a pose. Like, you can kind of get a half-decent overhead, but once you get to a certain extent, it feels like he'll snap the sword, or his arms. So you can't get like a really cool jumping pose where he's got the sword over his head. That's another thing. I really hate the fact that you don't have like some way to half open this kimono here. Just because I've noticed on some of the other figures, like the Storm Shadow for the Rise of Cobra line, where I literally was trying to push the leg forward a bit and then the joint snapped. Obviously the joint in this will be a bit thicker, so probably won't happen, but it's seriously impeded. So yeah, you actually do get a little motion forward, but it looks like it's bending the actual plastic, so probably won't be posing it like that. Now he has a torso joint or an ab joint. I can't tell which it is because you can't really see it, but there is motion there. We have a full range of motion up here at the neck. I mean, it's really cool that it looks detached from here to here, but there's no motion here at the upper chest. Actually, why would there be? And then we have a sort of normal ball jointed leg. Pretty decent, but again, impeded. And double joints here at the knee, in addition to a ball and socket here at the ankle. All in all, you know, pretty cool figure. A definite own for Ronin fans, and a probable own for people who aren't necessarily Ronin fans. And in terms of height, he's roughly 6 inches, just maybe a smidgen under. He's not short as this little scale setup might lead you to believe. I just tossed in some DC Universe Classics characters for the hell of it. They're more of a 6.5-inch scale, and Ares is flippin' huge. But we have Red Hulk series, Black Spider-Man to give you a rough idea of what he would be compared to a Spider-Man, which is roughly the same height, give or take. So yeah, until next time, folks.